Hello and welcome. I'm Miss Friday, and thanks for joining us. We continue Thrones and Bones Norrøngard, based on the fantasy trilogy Thrones and Bones, written by the same person, Lou Anders. This is a 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons adventure. We're using Foundry Virtual Tabletop, and our maps are from Heroic Maps. We have some additional tokens from Forgotten Adventures. So if you missed the VOD or you want to catch up or you're not able to watch all the way through, you can find the VOD on Kobold Press's YouTube channel. And we also have music from David Joseph Wesley today. All of the character art you see is by Ksenia Kozhevnikova. And okay, without further ado, let's roll through the summary of events as told through the eyes of the party's bard, Actalina.
I am always happy to capture our many adventures. However, last season on Thrones and Bones Norrøngard, one fateful evening, during one of many feasts held at Stokey's Hall in Bence, an unlikely group of wayward travelers found themselves in one another's company and right in the middle of a very aggressive food fight. The group, now composed of Bjorn, the barbarian, Toki, the druid, Sighild, the shield maiden, Sten, the cleric, Actalina, the bard, and Tulami, the rogue, were quickly thrown into the path of adventure, chasing a buttercat through the streets of Vence until they arrived at the barrows. Inside they found naught but ice, death, and Droger. They bravely defended against the nasty trollbreaker Scathy and discovered something truly curious. A Svaltafar agent who couldn't be taken in for questioning. They were very dead. The Jarl puts us to the test in a mighty battle of wits, and I, Actalina, easily prevail and absolutely did not stumble over my words at all and was totally prepared. Finding us to be worthy heroes. Because of that, he tasked us with seeking out the Jarl of Nimgam, Randor Randviksen, eager for a fight and a chance at honor, glory, fame, riches, redemption. The party heartily agrees, and we depart Bence on the mighty ship, the Wave Maiden, setting sail for the dwarven town of Ringborg. During the voyage, the mighty champions are able to grow closer to one another as we discover more about our companions. Toki keeps to himself for the most part, until he is plagued with visions of unknown origins, images of runes in various languages taunting him in his sleep. Many days pass before Ringborg appears on the horizon, and the group explores the town while the ship's crew docks for repairs. They haggle, shop, bump into various dwarves, and one such dwarf, adorned in tattoos similar to our beloved Sighild, asks the party for a small favor, to deliver a little sealed letter to the high priestess at the Temple of Freya. The moment that the high priestess opens the letter, a fiery explosion bursts forth, knocking Lena and Sighild to the ground and mortally wounding Urta. Simultaneously, the group outside is ambushed by a group of mysterious cultists, clad in foreboding red robes. A terrible fight ensues while the townspeople flee, and the party manages to put the cultists to the blade, though they are unable to save the priestess. A pensive and gloomy night in a cell gives way to a new dawn as the Jarl of Ringborg offers us a pardon in exchange for a favor, reclaiming the Ringborg mine and the treasures therein so that he may take the throne that sits deep within its bowels. He gives our escort a stone that we are to take to this throne. Despite trepidation from a few members of the party, they ultimately agree and are escorted to the mine's entrance. Once there, a small group of itty-bitty cave-trolls sneaks into the escort's pockets and steals away with the stone. Not a group to be pranked or trifled with. Everyone immediately gives chase, leaping into the minecarts and racing to the echoing chambers of Ringborg Mine. After retrieving the stone and speaking to the trolls, we learn of the Veter, the mountain spirit who resides in the halls of this once great underground palace. Descending deep into the mine, we've all finally discussed matters with the spirit of the mountain itself. It wanted help. The problem? Elinor. The battle was fierce. Several were knocked unconscious, and our dear friend Toki bled out. Seeing our obligation is complete, we returned to Ringborg, and once it became known that we had slain Elinor, the Jarl awarded us a shield and a weapon. The Norrøngardians are honorary dwarves now. When we find our adventurers, as on the next chapter of our journey, we've set sail to Midgard to deliver the Yera rune to the Jarl and seek help for dear Toki. And that is where we pick up. That's it. That's the end.
Thank you for clarifying.
I'm a poet.
Life is harsh in the frozen north, where thick snowfall buries the land for most of the year, and people carve out an existence between the stones of the mountain and the cold, lashing waves of the sea. We go now to the top of the wave maiden, on its way to Nilmgard. And as we go through, let's introduce our party, starting with the Svaltafar elf.
Hello. Tulami is a 5'4", 14-year-old boy with shaggy hair that would fall into his eyes if not for the wolf bone goggles that he wears to shield his black eyes from the sun. His pale skin is a sharp contrast to his dark hair and causes others to stare when he is not around his own kind. For that reason, he wears a hooded cloak, though his new friends have helped him realize he doesn't need to use it as much as he has. His Svaltafar uniform, once regal and bold, is now torn and shredded and patched with ocean blue cloth he has managed to find in his wanderings of the mountainside. His 2 daggers, Elenara and Malekith, stay in his holsters that wrap around his waist and legs, always ready to be thrown at a moment's notice. With revenge and justice whispering in his ear, his soft face features a hardened edge as he's ready to face whatever the world has to throw at him.
And now the Shield Maiden.
Seakild is a 6'2" wood elf with dark umber skin, beautiful brown eyes, and usually she has a very bright smile and attitude, although today on the ship, I think everybody's attitude is probably a little more dour today. Her head is shaved bald, and there are blue runic tattoos decorating her face and head from what you can see. She's wearing leather armor over chainmail, with green and fur decorating her here and there, and a silver ring on her finger. On her back are a sword and a round wooden shield, painted blue and green, and even underneath all of her layers, you can tell that she is a sturdy lass.
The half-giant.
Bjorn is a half-giant standing just shy of 8 feet with dirty blonde hair tied up into a knot and shaved on both sides. A very muscular man. Bjorn carries himself with newfound pride after his first foray into adventuring, having been mostly a farmhand. He has piercing blue eyes and is very often wearing his bear cloak, which he had fashioned for him at a young age. He is always smiling and tries to bring the most warmth to the coldest places of Norrøngard.
Stan.
Well, stood close to the front of the boat, as scarred and weather-worn as the piecemeal armor that is hanging from his wiry frame. Sten isn't a tall man, but even if he were, to shrug off the habitual slouch gifted by the life of toil that has left his hands knotted and gnarled with calluses, he'd still be shy of 5 feet and 10 inches. His head is crested by a rough nest of unkempt dark blonde hair, and his lips are permanently twisted into a wry smirk on the groove of an old scar that runs from his chin to his opposite ear. He carries a shield on his back, and a patched blue cloak is worn over his battered gear and oily gambeson. His axe is worn at his hip, and he holds casually, well, clutches more desperately as the waves rock the ship underneath him, a spear in one hand. He clutches on also to a polished and worry-worn boar tusk horn, graven with a rampant bristleback boar charges towards the mouth of the instrument, and he seems to be muttering to himself as he tries to block out all sounds and sensation of the open sea around him.
Actalina.
Actalina is a young girl. She appears to be in her early 20s with a jovial sparkle in her green eyes that seem to be dampened by the recent events and the loss of a friend. She stands at about 5'6", happily moving her feet to distract herself and humming a little tune, and her long strawberry blonde braids dancing and swaying with the green folds of her dress in tune with the tides on the boat. She appears to be trying to remember the next verse of a song just on the tip of her tongue. Each time she tries to restart the verse, it seems like she gets a little bit sadder and sadder as we continue. Were it not for the normal rosiness of her cheeks, she would seem fairly pale right now. But she finally musters up a smile as she remembers the rest of the verse and looks to her friend Toki.
Toki.
Toki is dead, but when he was alive, he was a rather large, aged human, late 50s. He wears a hodgepodge of leather armor mixed with scraps of, debris and stuff like that from his time in the woods. While he was living, he was a wayward druid who had lost a lot of his memories. And he was an angry, repentive sort who did not like to share things with others. As he joined the party, he became more and more willing to speak and to share and to be heard. And just as he was ready to start growing again as a human being and capturing his memories, he passed away.
And while he is undergoing his journey through the underworld, how did Toki die?
Toki was fatefully, absolutely butchered by the Lenorm. During the battle with the Lenorm, he had just kind of reached into himself and called forth druidic magic that he had no longer believed he had access to. But he used it, and it turned out to be his undoing. As the Lenorm smashed him out of the air while he was transformed into a beautiful owl, he came crashing to the ground and was very soon after crushed under the Lenorm.
Then I believe dropped like 30 feet to the ground.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
It was a spectacle for sure.
Yeah.
It was sick as hell, don't get me wrong, but it was brutal.
It was rough.
A warrior's death for sure.
Absolutely.
For certain.
That's like 6 honor right there.
I believe I did award Toki an additional honor or 2 for
Good.
dying in battle. Yeah.
So now I have
forgot
is
about
that
that.
-8 honor now, or is
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I think Toki's at 20. I'll have to wait for the carousel to come back around because I've forgotten, but I think Toki has 20, and then Actalina earned an additional honor, differentiating themselves because of the flighting contest with the Jarl and Bensa.
Of course, I don't know what you expected. I was so good. I definitely didn't use the phrase punch you in the sky to try and rhyme a verse.
It was
tried-
The greatest bard of all time.
You tried your best, and even though it wasn't very good, it was still good enough.
I thought it was like super duper.
Was very super duper.
Thank you.
Okay. So you all have been traveling on the waves now that the Wave Maiden itself has been repaired while you were in Ringborg and awarded the weapon and shield from the Jarl of Ringborg. You all are honorary dwarves now, and you are about a half day from Nilmgard now. What are you discussing?
I think since we've left Sieghild in whatever free time she has had where she hasn't been helping Ro, has probably just been spending her time praying to the wood elf ancestor spirit, one of the 5, the one that she worships, Nesthia Green Mother. So she's just been spending most of her time praying, which is a little, I don't want to say uncharacteristic, but she's usually more social. She's definitely religious. She's made this very clear. She grew up in a temple, but she's usually much more social. But not so much now that the old man that she was supposed to look after died, you know? So she's just been kind of keeping to herself, kind of watching over Toki's dead body and just praying a lot to her ancestor spirit.
Bjorn has more than likely just thrown himself into helping the crew of the Wave Maiden, perpetually rowing, using his strength to help others, which is what he figures he should have been able to do in order to help Toki not die, but wasn't able to do. So now it seems like he's really just kind of throwing himself at this work to get his mind off of what he feels is a failure on his part.
Sten, is there anything that you are doing for Toki as you ride on the Wave Maiden to Nilmgard?
Sten is a cleric of Latrissa, the goddess of battle, courage, fertility, love, and passion. And he sort of lives that in the fact that he sort of leads him more into trouble than not. I mean, I'm not sure what gods Toki prayed to, but he's doing his best between bouts of throwing himself, his contents of his stomach off the edge of the boat, to his suffering from extreme seasickness. He's managed to slow the decay of the fallen warrior with blessing, and after anointing the body and preparing it for travel with Sighild back in the town of the dwarves, he's basically keeping watch over it, bundled up as it is into as an easily carryable parcel, I suppose, at the front of the ship underneath one of the benches, just keeping watch and muttering prayers. It's not quite clear if he's muttering prayers to himself and to them over the fallen Toki, or he's trying to pray for calmer seas.
The weather has been fairly clear since you left Ringborg, unlike your journey to Ringborg, in which you had to stop because of the weather and the other damage done to the vessel along the way when you were viciously boarded by Draugr, and you had fought them off, if you recall. We forgot about that, didn't we? Yeah, that's always a danger. Yeah.
I remembered, I just didn't know where to put it in.
Just
I wasn't
skeletons.
I wasn't trying to attack you, Actalina. You didn't. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Tulami will just be, if they're not helping row, he'll be sitting on a bench out of the way, writing a list.
What's the list?
Oh, I figured if someone wanted to know, they'd ask.
Well, God's asking.
Oh, God.
A voice above.
So it's a list of things that I'm going to apologize to Toki for if he survives.
Pretty empty list, huh?
Tulami's such a
Son.
precious boy. Okay. So as you all are sailing, you see a jagged and mostly impenetrable cliff line has hung off your starboard side, which is the right side, for more than a day. And now it swiftly recedes, drawing back from the shoreline to leave a small peninsula of relatively flat land thrust out into the water. Welcome to Nilmgard. Here, where the Serpent's Gulf mixes with the Cold Sea, approximately 1,500 souls rest their survival from the cold waters and hard rocks. And as you approach the extensive docks, you see that the bulk of the town clusters on the lowland, but homes and even fields thick with the crop spread up over the slopes to the north. They cling to the sides of the mountain like the nests of the many seabirds you see spinning and spy-wheeling in the air. Looming high above all, shadows fill a vast hole in the mountain face. It glares down like a baleful eye, plotting against a city still lit by the last rays of the setting sun.
Oh, blessings to Watergirl. We've finally made it.
Oh, now, Sten, don't go losing your lunch for a fourth time.
Or fifth or sixth.
Didn't know I even ate that much.
You don't have to. After a while, it just sort of comes out like water.
Aware.
Okay. Cool.
You're not helping at all.
I know. I know.
Are we docked yet, or are we still like slowly coming in?
So the ship comes in, and you see the other crew members start to throw ropes to the sailors on the dock, and the ship is tied off finally. And solemnly, the ship's captain will give you all a nod, but isn't asking for fare or anything like that this time.
Give him sort of a nod back before I go over and attempt to pick up Toki immediately.
Seakill just puts a hand on Actalina's shoulder and just gives a small smile of like, it's okay, sweetie. And we'll scoop him up.
Actalina and I just take 1 foot each.
Yeah. Still straining.
He's nice and bundled up. We got him wrapped.
Oh,
Well, we can take the leg bundle together, Tonami, if you want. We can both carry
Okay.
the bottom part.
anything that I can do to feel like I'm helping?
Do you want to carry his staff?
Oh, that makes, yeah. I'll take the
Here.
stick and just like, you know what kids do, just thump it as they're walking. I'm just walking down the plank.
Mhm.
Stick.
Anybody
Yeah.
hear that? That was
You're,
weird.
you're, I can almost still hear him today.
I'll help Sighild. We'll get Loki on his shield, and we'll carry him borne on his shield the same way, because we've managed to strap him down. Gives a nice flat surface to carry him on.
Bjorn will pitch in too.
Between the three of us, this stick of an old man will be nothing to carry.
Yeah, Tulami and I are also super helping a lot.
Oh, for sure.
We are.
Couldn't do it without ya.
You're
Absolutely.
singing
Protect.
is dirge, right? So you're currently wailing a song that you've been practicing.
No, I don't think he needs a song. He's not going to die forever. Only people who die forever need a song. He's going to be fine.
Well, brave heroes also need a song, and I think you could consider him a brave hero, don't you think?
You're right. I'll start making one. Okay, you're so right. I'm gonna start writing right away. Okay. Thank you, Bjorn.
How-
Can you
How can
write
you-
off the gangplank? Could you get? We're trying to. Could you get off the gangplank?
Just
so-
keep
Right,
walking.
I'll
Keep
get
walking.
out of the way. I'll just go behind. I'll
Thank
just
you,
go-
Lena.
As you all join the crowd leaving the docks area, you start to move through the street, and you get directions to the shrines. Everyone sees what you're bearing, and you end up getting directed towards the Shrine of Lana, which is, believe it or not, and this is canon, I didn't make this up, it is at least a couple miles away. So it is at the very far end of Norrøngard.
Blue, you
Uh,
asshole.
You cannot call the creator an asshole.
First, he makes us kill people, and now he makes us walk.
Wow, I can't believe you're making us, seasoned adventurers, walk a couple of miles.
Yeah.
I haven't walked in. I don't exercise.
Dave's loving it. Anything where he doesn't have to. Sten's loving it. Anywhere where he doesn't have to sway from side to side every time the ship rocks. It's very much enjoying being on dry land.
Bjorn, will you carry me on your shoulders?
I suppose I could. And Bjorn just kind of one-handedly scoops Tulami up and saddles him on his shoulders.
I need to
while-
get rid of this exhaustion. Still,
Oh
Soon.
no!
Soon.
One day.
Yeah, so just for housekeeping, yes, your exhaustion is gone because you've had a
Okay.
day since then, so you can
cool.
hit your long rest. I'm so
Goodness.
happy that you are just so honest that you kept
I'm
your
like, I have to figure out how to get rid of this because it's still here.
yeah. I like
Wait.
how half the party went into that Lenorm fight with exhaustion too.
Yeah, you had 2 levels of exhaustion, didn't you, Adina? Rough.
Today I only had 1, but
Tulani
We
is a
tried to
grown boy.
rest. We tried.
No rest for the wicked.
Well, might be a bit of a walk, but let's get walking.
Agreed.
And so we walk.
And as you make your way through the streets, you can see people that are turning and acknowledging you and kind of staring, pointing a little bit, mostly at Bjorn. And also Tulami gets a few stares for reasons. This city is located at the southern edge of the mountains where the Svaltafar call home. So a Svaltafar elf would not be seen as completely out of the ordinary. However, you are definitely a minority here, as is Bjorn, who is probably one of the only half-giants that anyone has ever seen.
Hello there. I'm very friendly.
So you see, like, people just, like, shield their children from you and, like, scurry away as your booming voice hits
Did you
them
say
like a
that in
battle axe.
Dwarven?
Yes, it's very broken dwarvish that he said that.
Getting a lot better at that.
Thank you, Sten. I really appreciate the lesson. It's been helping me connect with the people more.
I know this is
Right.
going to work. I know it. But
It has
what
to.
if it does?
And it was Toki's time, and they're where they need to be. We're
That
not
is
bringing him back
something-
because we want him back. We're bringing him back because he has things he needs to do.
I hate that answer so much.
Well,
Just-
that I believe the same thing because I've never seen someone die who wasn't evil. I've died and I've come back and I'm not evil, so that checks out.
Sorry,
My parents
but-
supposedly have died, but I'm sure there's somewhere out there because they weren't bad either. So I think Toki will come back.
Tulami, my mother died, and I don't think she was evil.
My
I've
whole
never met
family
your
is
mother.
still alive, and I would like it to stay that way.
Oh yeah, your family is pretty nice.
So we have to bring Toki back so the whole family can be alive.
I just want to say I wasn't saying anything about your mother, Sighild.
Oh, I know. I'm just poking fun at you.
Okay. But
No,
also
but-
I've never met her, so I wouldn't know for sure.
Oh, well, she was a lovely woman. But all that aside, to get back to the point, I agree that as much as we want our dear old man back, as much as I think it wasn't his time, as much as I think that he still had things that he wanted to finish and find about himself, if this doesn't work, then it is his time, and that's just something that we're going to have to accept. Which I think if that's the case, which it won't be, but if it is, then I think we should take that as something to celebrate. He died heroically, and we should have a drink about it. But we'll tackle that when that happens. If
We'll
that
s-
happens.
We'll slay every Lenorm in Norrøngard.
That's a tall order. I mean,
I
we
do-
almost
I feel like
perished fighting one, all of us.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I did a fantastic job. Not good enough. I did so great against the Lenorm. I thought I did.
That's true, Lena. You did a fantastic job.
Oh,
And thank you
Actalina,
for
I
that.
thought she died.
I thought I died too.
Well, ask
I was
Toki
going to
how he
be-
feels that you did.
That will be the ultimate test, I think, because they have been to the gods.
I think I had my eyes closed like half the battle, so I'm not really sure what happened.
Yeah, you got, I think, the first round of combat, you got knocked out, so,
Oh, that's what happened? Okay.
But-
The Vader came and helped you.
Is that what
The little
happened?
gnome?
The
Oh,
little
okay.
gnome.
I had my back turned because I was trying to.
I thought it was a
Anyways.
vision. I swear.
Is that the temple up there?
Oh,
Yeah, so as you start to approach the temple, you can see someone standing outside with very deep robes and their hands folded, sort of peering at you. An older man with balding head and then a great bushy beard that sort of takes stock of you all with a curious, wide set of eyes. Oh, would you look at that? Interesting.
hello there. We were hoping that maybe someone here would be able to help us with our friend here.
We need somebody to petition Neth, and we thought her sister Lana would be a good bet to perhaps release the soul, the essence of our fallen friend. Sort of shrugs, trying to indicate to the body on the bier.
And what would you say this person has done to indicate that we can arrange for that?
They are a champion of mountain spirits.
It's Leda Linnerum.
They're a hero. And all they wanted to do was reconnect to their past because all he ever wanted was to find his memories, and he started to get them back,
Actalina.
but now he can't.
It's okay. Actalina, it's okay. It's okay.
We should bring him back, please. The gods will really like him. He grows on you.
I have a lot of stuff to apologize for.
And we were marked as heroes of. Excuse me, this is me, Mirage, the player speaking. I forgot the name of the last place we were in. What was it called?
Ringborg.
Ringborg.
Ringborg. Thank you. We were officially marked as heroes of Ringborg. This gentleman included. So I think that would be a great accomplishment, if I do say so myself.
Well, in that case, and then he moves towards the structure itself, which you can see is built of mostly wood and shaped in what appears to be like a deer's head, and then with the antlers sprawling out, spiking out on either side over the roof. And as they lead you inside, you see within the center of the area a fire pit and a cauldron suspended above it, and what appears to be a figure wearing fox skin over the shoulders and a green robe with a sash tied around their waist, and a large oaken staff, not a stick, that
That's your smacking stick.
and antlers attached to the hood that they wear as they approach.
Who are you?
Make a religion check.
If these are certain forest casters, could I do it with advantage? That would be a 16.
A 16.
Yes.
You recognize this figure as being somewhat a druid circle of vulva.
Would I recognize any sort of similarity in like demeanor, stature, education between Toki and this group of?
Yes. So you recognize the cedar stuffer, which is very similar to the one that Toki has. And you know, based on some of the things that you've heard moving from town to town, that they are typically in society viewed to be standing at the nexus of the Tree of Life between the mortal world and the powers of the planes beyond.
I'm going to very gently grab the staff from Tulami and show it to the one wearing the giant deer antler headdress. Can you help him? Please.
I think I can. I think I can. And what is the name of this individual?
Toki. Toki the Wild. Or so he is written in my song.
Toki
I wanted to say, has he told you this?
the Wild. Could you please lay him down so? And we'll discuss the life and deeds of Toki before we beseech Lana.
Sten will take his belt knife and use it to cut open the shroud that he's been wrapped in and take off the bindings, allowing him to be laid out, and then take the staff, if permitted to, and lay it in his hands on his chest.
Seagild will, as we lay him down and get him all set out, give Toki's face a little pat on the cheek and just be like, "You got this, slow old man." Sit next to his body.
Me, do you want down now?
Oh yeah. If we're not, is the ceiling high enough for this?
You're just like,
This
Are we
crouched.
inside? Yeah,
Just, like,
I assume
on.
temples were big, but that's my bad if
Okay.
they're not.
I
could
just
be like a
naturally, I
sweat
assumed if we
lodge.
were inside, I was down, but if we're not, I'll climb down. Yeah.
So as the body is laid down, the vulva will start to gather some things from the shelf, and there's a variety of different, appears to be like spices and different pieces of like roots and like other earthy elements that they're putting into a bowl.
Does it smell good?
Yes, it smells like earth and potpourri.
It doesn't necessarily smell good, no.
I really like it.
oh,
It smells like the ground when you go outside and put your face really close to the dirt.
I
so
feel
it
like
smells
it's
like dirt.
Yes, it smells like dirt, but very, very powerful dirt.
What is powerful dirt? Like manure?
Do you want to smell it?
No.
It reminds me of the time Toki farted really bad.
Which time?
These farts smell like the earth, the sacred ground.
I can't tell which time. They were all the same.
I'm just gonna
Stopped.
neaten up Toki's hair while he's lying there for when he comes back, so he looks his best.
The vulva returns, and then, having ground up some things in a mortar and pestle, is beginning to sprinkle some all over Toki like this.
Stop it.
Yeah. If you would, please, we'll go around and you may describe the life and deeds of Toki before we beseech Lana.
I suppose I will go first. Toki was a man of many deeds, so many so that he forgot a lot of them. I have only known him for a short amount of his life, very short, but if any of his deeds were half so great as the ones we accomplished together, he has definitely earned his seat near the gods.
I know Toki to be of a reserved but very honorable sort, because when it came down to it, and we were discussing, the rights of the spirits and where they belong and their place next to us, he always was willing to listen to the spirits, and he treated the waiter with so much reverence and respect. And he deserves to be with his friends. He was a great druid.
I remember when I just appreciated how open he was. Like, he said a lot of things that hurt my feelings, but at least he said them and didn't lie to me about how he felt. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I can appreciate honesty.
Toki didn't shy away from any challenge, even when the challenge perhaps didn't need to be surmounted. I recognize that in myself and respect it. There's been more than once that he saved our skins with power that he didn't even understand, and the willingness to throw oneself into the unknown, especially when that unknown lies within one's own mind, something to be respected. I hope Lana can respect that. He has more healing to do. He has more stories to tell. He has more wounds to heal.
I was asked to look after him. He was apparently somebody important and powerful, and we've seen that he's sort of withered away from that, but there's still remnants there, and he was desperately trying to find what remains of that, and I feel like if he had another chance, he was starting to get a grasp on it. He was starting to remember. And at this point, Seahild looks up to the druid. Maybe you can even help him with this if he is able to return to us. He's, like I said, he struggled with remembering who and what he was, but he was important, not just to whoever or whatever he was, but to us, of course. Meant a lot to the team, even if he was, like he was. It's part of his charm. And personally, I would like to have him back, but that's maybe a bit selfish.
The Volva nods to you and then reaches into one of their pouches and withdraws a small assortment of sparkling gems that they reach over and cup against Toki's breastbone, and looks to Sten and says, I think you'd better join me in this.
Looks a bit sort of reluctant, but sort of taking his whole his horn, he sort of uses his other hand and reluctantly places it on top of the hand holding the gems.
I need you, Sten, to roll a D100.
Oh no.
Man,
This
is
Blame on him.
How
This is
dare you
yeah.
increase tension like this? Who
This is
do
like
you
a double-edged-
think you
This is a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, I might get to save Toki, but on the other hand, I might get to be the one who kills Toki. So this is a win-win.
Fridays.
Yeah, both are good options. Yeah.
Win-win.
Here we go.
Friday's like,
Ooh.
not today. I'm not doing this.
Oh, geez. 100? What are the chances? That's 1 in 100 chance.
Yeah,
of winning
1 in 100 if you're looking at it technically.
We did not go
You
for it.
rolled a 100.
Yeah, I got. I guess I didn't send it to Thingy, but I can screenshot it if need be. But
Yeah,
it's
I totally don't believe you. I think you're a liar, and
not again. Why is it not rolled through?
that's fine. You're beyond 20. It might not be set up, but that's cool. So, as you place your hands over the top of the Volvo's hand, you see a light emanating, and you start to focus on something that you weren't quite sure that you could be a part of, and you weren't certain that you were necessarily on the path that would lead you to helping people in this way. And Toki, having the time of your afterlife in Valhalla, you are suddenly ripped from perhaps the greatest feast and the greatest experience that you've ever had, literally just living it up in the afterlife as a hero who had died standing up to a Linnorm courageously. And suddenly you have Sten leaning over you, looking slightly sad along with everyone else, and the absolute ecstasy of Valhalla leaves you as you are brought back to life and probably still tied up, so you're like bound. What's the first thing that Toki does?
Oh, no! No, send me back!
Breath stinks.
Oh, oh,
All right. Hello to you
Then
too.
send him back. I pull out my dagger.
No, Tulami, wait. Give the man a moment.
He is delusional.
oh,
I mean, we know this.
God.
Toki?
What did you do? Oh, what happened?
We saved your life.
Do you feel better?
I don't want to be rude, but where is it you did go? Because I know you've done some questionable things, but you did die a hero's death, so you might have ended up at a feast table. But I'm not sure, and I kind of want to know. Just curious.
Since Toki is bound in his wrappings and unable to move, he's just kind of like jerking a little bit and
I
looking
think
around.
we undid it, didn't we?
Okay. Toki is instead jerking around and pushing himself up a little bit and, just kind of blinking, nonstop, unable to kind of take in the images around him as life begins to fill his body and his synapses and his brain start to go off, and he feels his fingers and his toes again. And he is just looking around kind of aimlessly. I went to Valhalla. It was beautiful. Oh, God, my back hurts.
Dude,
Oh,
I don't know if there's any Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans out there, but this is very reminiscent of the episode where they brought Buffy back.
Can I be Spike?
She was in heaven.
Oh my
You can
god.
be Spike.
Seakild is going
You're
to scoop
British.
Toki up into a big hug and probably crack his back as she does so.
oh,
Guess everyone
Gosh.
in there doesn't care about people's opinions about dwarves.
Toki shrugs off anything that might be binding him, and he cups his face in his hands and he rubs his eyes and he begins to look around at the faces again, and he's just looking very not upset, but he's just very
I'm not
Disappointed.
upset. Just disappointed.
Disappointed.
a little
that I
disappointed.
could spend eternity eating and drinking and singing.
Toki,
Oh.
I need for you to roll a d20.
Okay, I will do that.
Fear.
This is to see if you evacuate your bowels.
I think that would be a con save.
Flat
11.
D20. 11? Okay. So, your experience in Valhalla allowed you to discuss matters with both the High Father and other very experienced warriors. And as a result, you have acquired the Rune of Wounjou, which its meaning is joy, pleasure, harmony, and kinship. And you have a temporary power in which if you draw this rune in the air, it kind of looks like a P, I'll show you. The rune maker gives advantage on all charisma checks for 1 minute. This
Thank
is
God
just
he'll need
fate.
it.
This is just fate that Toki gets this of all the ones. And then once you use the Wounjou rune in that manner, it cannot be used until you finish a long rest. Your permanent power is this: when this rune is applied to clothing or armor, the affected object becomes magic item, requiring attunement that grants the wearer advantage on saving throws against effects that cause fear. And the ability can be shared to up to 4 companions as long as they are within 30 feet of the rune. So it's like an area of effect against fear. And then the effect has a duration of 10 minutes, requiring concentration. And then same thing with the long rest. So you can create an aura resisting fear, which would be really helpful in your next Lenorm fight.
Yeah, very helpful.
Maybe
That's
we don't
awesome.
get crushed so hard.
Wait, are we fighting another one?
What?
So
Of no.
Spoilers.
as Toki is kind of sitting there and he's coming into himself and the weight of what's happened to him is settling in, you see his look of disappointment kind of fade, and a very interesting look of content kind of fills his expression as he begins to look around at everyone. And since Sighild was hugging him, he's gonna reach out and cup her face, and he's gonna like, oh, thank you.
Don't thank me. And she just cups his face back and sort of like squishes it a little bit and just goes, don't thank me. Think. And she turns his face to look at Sten and the druid. Thank them. They're the ones who beseeched your gods to bring you back. And I hope this is what you wanted.
I had a lot left to do, and while I was enjoying myself and I had a very good time in Valhalla, I will tell you all about that. I want to go back there.
Ooh.
That was great, but there was still a lot that I needed to do, and I appreciate all of you.
That's the best thing about Valhalla. You might end up there again, and we're always going to end up somewhere.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, we could just go fight another one.
No.
I'm just saying, when you're ready, we can go fight another one, and you can get there that way.
I'm ready
Well,
right now.
I was going to say I appreciate all of you doing this for me. I know I didn't treat you all the best, and I hope that we can move forward after this.
Well, to be fair,
Forward forever.
to be fair to you, Toki, not a lot of people treat me with respect, so I didn't expect nothing of it, So thank you for your apology, though. It does mean a lot.
This is the best day of my life. The whole family is back together. I will put this in my song.
Oh, everybody come here. And
Would someone
Seal
like a
is just going
hug?
to start pulling everybody into a big hug, probably including the druid that helped in this.
Oh, hey, all right.
No, come here.
It's
Toki is
Be
just kind
careful.
of sitting there awkwardly, like squished by everyone. And then as the hug breaks, he's gonna rub a little bit more the sleep and death, I guess you would say, out of his eyes. And would he recognize the druid
roll a
by name?
roll a history check.
Okay. 16.
16. It's on the tip of your tongue as you recognize this person whom you've seen before, and there's a feeling that overcomes you, mostly that you hate this person.
Keep on sight.
So I think Toki looks at them and he tilts his head a little bit and squints his eyes, and he does the as he's trying to remember. And then for some reason, you guys just see his face just get contorted, and he's just like,
Toki, don't make that face.
Stan's completely oblivious as he grabs her shoulders, like, I guess they don't have baths in Valhalla. We need to dunk you in the sea, I think. Stink.
Stamira.
Do you have a
Toki.
body in Valhalla?
Oh,
Or is it just your spirit?
Oh, you two know each other.
Oh, what?
Well, I think so, but I know I don't like you.
You don't like anyone, Toki.
It's true.
Yeah, that's
Fair
pretty standard.
point.
I don't
Well-
like them specifically.
Of all the people I would assume that stumbled into Valhalla, it would have been you.
Yeah, well, why'd you even bring me back?
Oh, yeah, wait a minute. What? You knew him, and then you realized you hated him, and then you made us tell stories about him, and then brought him back, and now you're saying you don't like him. I'm confused. Sorry.
It's not their opinion that matters, it's the opinion of the god. We do what
It's
the gods
true.
demand.
Thank
I
you.
suppose.
Thank you.
Well, we Velva do all have our duties. I
You're-
appreciate you upholding yours.
Toki,
Next
You
time
two
I'll
work
think about it.
together.
Toki, you've been Volva this whole time?
Oh, I guess I have.
Why didn't you tell us? We're your friends.
Well, I didn't know.
Oh, that makes sense. Why didn't I think of that?
Actalina, what did you ask?
A very, very obvious question.
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Oh, I asked him why he didn't tell us that he was Volva.
Okay.
I remember a few things. Death has seemed to enlighten me a little, but I don't remember. Why do I hate you again, Demira?
Because you're an ass.
Ah,
Oh yeah,
okay.
tracks.
That
Yeah,
makes
they do
sense.
know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
that
suppose.
checks out.
I suppose losing your memory hasn't done much for your personality. I suppose.
I suppose so. Part of me thought I might have been a better person, but I guess not.
Ooh.
I think you're a
Doug-
really great person.
Think you can work on it. Look at that.
Good
You already
news is-
started with
Person.
apologizing.
Knowing your flaws
Honestly, I'm surprised.
is half the battle, really.
Toki sighs deeply and he looks around.
Well, where's my staff?
Oh,
I
your
feel
stick?
naked
It's right over
without it.
here.
Did you just call it a stick?
Yes,
Yeah?
she did. She called it a stick.
Yeah,
Toki,
you're
that's no way to. Have you ever heard? You've heard this phrase, so I'll tell you again because you've clearly forgotten. Honey attracts more flies, or whatever the saying is. You know, now I'm having memory problems.
Oh, I
Even-
know this one. It's in many songs. Honey attracts more flies than a dung heap.
That's correct.
Vinegar?
Yes. Good job. Just to let you know, Toki, when someone doesn't know something, if you go out of your way to be rude to them because they don't know, it makes you, the person who doesn't know most things, look just like a mean person. But I will let you know because this is your day of grace, I would say, since you've just been brought back to the land of the living. You should, at some point, I think, perhaps go back to Ervik and then discuss things with
Ervik.
with the
Oh.
Jarl there.
Oh. Oh, why does that seem so familiar? What did I do?
You once served the Jarl.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Knew there was something I didn't like about you. Can we send him back?
Well, it is
I
quite the
just-
journey over to Dragon's Bay, but you might.
There's a lot I need to think about.
Oh, well,
Demiro, maybe if we have time, would you bury the hatchet and help me remember some things I have seemed to have forgotten?
Well, what are you trying to remember specifically?
Well, I
have to admit I
blur.
didn't keep a notebook of these are the things that Toki needs to remember. I don't have that as written as a notebook or anything like that, so you'd have to
Well,
ask some specific questions probably.
You knew me when I was myself, and I don't really recall what I was doing, where I was, why I was there. I know that word travels among the Velva, but
Can you just narrow that down to maybe even a decade? Or can we just
within the last 10 years, I guess. Yes. What was I doing?
You were traveling on errands for the Jarl of Ervik on some sort of journey for, I don't know what you were babbling about, to be quite honest, but you were very convinced that basically you wanted everyone to start sacrificing more, and you thought it was going to start to speak to the gods better. And as it turned out, when you went from place to place, this is what I heard, not what I know, so maybe you can let me know if this is true or not. I heard when you were engaged in the animal sacrifice, let's call it a tour, you got kicked in the head by a cow. So that's just what I heard, but I'm not quite certain. Maybe I want to believe that because for me, it's a little funny.
I really hope that's not true.
And-
Oh,
It sounds
Toki.
on brand.
oh.
Toki, even if all of that is 100% undeniable fact, it's not what we understand of you. And I really think that perhaps growing older and losing your memories, if you were a sacrificial nut job, it was for the best.
Well, I can't claim to remember, but if I had to say, I would put it out there that the more you sacrifice, the more the
I think
gods
you should.
listen.
I
I'm
don't
just
think-
saying.
Let's stop that train of thought as it exits your mouth. And
I'm
just
just
enjoy
saying.
this moment. Be quiet so
Okay,
we can be
all right.
happy about you being back. God damn it.
Okay, all right. Now, where's my staff? I need it.
Oh, you're 6 here. So I think thank you, first of all, for helping bring this lovely old man that we all adore back. I think we all probably need to find a place to rest. We still have some business to take care of here, but I think after all of this, we should probably rest a little bit first. Do you know if there's an inn or something nearby that we might be able to stay at?
Oh, yes. You can, as I check my notes. Yes, there's plenty of places, honestly, and you would have no trouble. I think the place, if you go out and then you take the right, and then you should see the sign of the very large fish eating the smaller fish, and then the smaller fish is eating a smaller fish, and it's attached to a hook.
There's always a bigger fish.
The Wodig
right.
is truth. Oh, wait, that's also good.
And we can also get some drinks to celebrate your rebirthday.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not like the meat in Valhalla, I tell you that.
Ooh,
Oh, gosh.
I would love to try it sometime.
The
I plan
nectar
on
of
it.
the gods.
Like Ambrosia.
Please, you're making me jealous.
Well, hopefully we'll all be there one day together.
Do you think you can eat human food now that you've had that?
I don't know.
You should try it, see if it tastes like that.
Actalina, it's okay.
Wait.
Actalina,
It's
it's okay.
just a very
Oh, my
emotional name.
stomach. Oh,
Oh yeah, you're probably.
I need to eat.
All right,
hungry.
come on.
Bring
Come
him
on.
bring him outside before he starts making noise.
Oh,
All right.
All right, friend.
I'll give you a food ration if you don't have one.
I think Toki would grab his staff, and as Tulami hands him the food ration, he just immediately engulfs it as quickly as possible.
oh gosh.
That was my seasickness medicine.
Oh, my joints are tight. Oh, God. How long was I dead for, even in this world?
Ooh, whole boat ride, And there was some time before that, before we got on the boat, and then the time it took us to walk here. Some time, really. 2 days.
2 days.
2 days. Oh, okay. Let's get to that inn. I need to eat and drink and be merry.
Do you want to
Let's
get
do that.
married?
Merry.
Oh, okay.
Happy.
I mean, good for you at your age if you do. But here, let me help you up and let's get you to some drink.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to carry you?
Would it be too much of a trouble?
Come here, and she's just gonna scoop him up.
This is the life.
You can hear Toki's bones start to pop and crack as you pick him up, and he's like has his limbs stretched out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
Almost
he's
as
kind
good
of
as
holding his
Valhalla.
staff just like this in his arms as Sighild cradles him.
All right. Well, thank you again. I think I'll probably be back for some more proper things when we're not, carrying our friend who was dead just a couple of minutes ago. But thank you.
You're
Yes.
quite welcome, and if you could just don't bring him back.
Demira, despite whatever
She's already walked
happened
away.
between. Okay.
Oh, Toki, maybe we can schedule a little play date so that you guys can make up.
No, that's probably not a good
No,
idea.
no. I think that's a really good idea.
We could kill
know?
you again and bring you back.
No. I think
They,
maybe you can just come here to pray, and then you can use that to be like, oh, hey, we haven't been able to catch up for a while. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I almost dropped you. We haven't been able
Oh.
to catch up in a while, and, maybe we can just, be friends. See, just something like, yeah, no, okay. Well, I think I see the sign over there, so,
Yeah, let's get inside.
So as you approach the common room, you see that fresh fish is being served up. This is a port town, so that's no shortage of that. And you find a table if you would like, and they also have rooms if you'd like to stay the night. It's still early in the day for you all, as you had it's about midday actually, as you had just arrived from Ringborg. So what would you all like to do?
well,
Is To-
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna ask. Is Toki rest? Are we all resting, taking a nap?
You're all rested. Toki has 2 points of exhaustion.
Okay.
I would imagine that, talking out of character real quick, we probably will want to rest for the evening and maybe do our actual business in the morning, since, we just resurrected a dead friend. Don't want to be like,
What's
all
your
right, well,
name?
you're alive again. Let's go finish
not
our
ready to
job.
work?
We got work to do. Let's go.
To adventure.
Capitalism at its
Yeah.
finest.
So,
That goal.
Welcome back to the land of the living. We've got a job to do.
I think Toki would definitely be spending this time rehydrating his body, drinking lots of water and mead, and eating, and trying to kind of bring himself back to a state of living.
Gotta rehydrate to dehydrate.
What's
baby.
the what's that thing you give to babies to rehydrate them?
Pedialyte.
Pedialyte. Toki's just downing some Pedialyte.
Chugging Pedialyte.
Oh God, it tastes like crap.
Well, this has been helpful many a Sunday morning. Okay.
Okay. So on that note, I think this is a great time to go to our break, and we will be back in approximately 10 minutos. So I'll see you all then.
Drink your Pedialyte, kids.
Hello, and welcome back to Thrones and Bones Norrøngard. Our party has just arrived in Norrøngard, and they are set to meet the Jarl later today after resurrecting their dearly departed Toki.
tomorrow
And
morning.
as you all settle in for the night, what are you doing?
Drinking.
Okay, you can do that.
I
That
think
sounds like a plan.
probably as we're drinking, whoever gets the drunkest the fastest because we don't have any plans to go anywhere tonight, because I think we discussed that our plans are specifically to chill out tonight and then in the morning go and do what we're supposed to.
Yeah.
So that being said, whoever gets the drunkest the fastest, who do you think, who's going to get drunk first?
It sounds like some Constitution saving throws are in order.
I suppose Lena.
Everyone that is going to be drinking tonight, I do need Constitution saving throws.
She
Peer
noticed the designated
pressure.
driver tonight.
You have a couple of drinks to choose from, and the save itself is going to determine, or the drink is going to determine which save that you need to make. So,
Oh,
are
boy.
we going to drink the standard ale or the mead, or are we going to have some of the Norrøngard specialty?
Well, when in Nilmgard do as
When
the
in
Nilmgardians do,
I
we have
was
the Nilmgard special.
same page.
I
Bjorn.
think Toki would
Okay.
have one, but mostly he'd be drowning himself in water.
Okay.
Smart choice.
Please
Yeah.
don't drown. We just brought you back.
That's always an
D&D
option.
Taverns ID.
What's
What's the
D&D
drinking age?
I think the
what's
drinking age is like
in the-
10.
What's the drinking age in the hold?
You've slain a Lenorm, so you pass to be old enough to.
I watched a Lenorm get slain. I feel like that's the same thing.
You did it.
You
Yeah.
did it.
There
No,
you
you
go.
got the
You
You got
Oh,
did
yeah,
the
I
killing
did.
blow.
the final blow.
Sulami did
that was
get the killing
that
blow.
is right. I forgot about that because
Yeah,
I
that was you.
Too upset. I was
It's
so
only-
upset about Toki dying.
That's
It's only
fair.
the biggest event of anyone's life in your community.
No, well, yeah, except I was too worried about Toki dying. I was not thinking about that.
Precious baby boy.
My
Okay.
son, my child.
So,
In
you
his
all.
high pitched, squeaky, cracked 14-year-old voice, he's gonna order a Nimgard special.
Okay. So you all get the breath of the fiscus, and that is a fish flavored shot with a pickle chase.
Let's
didn't
go.
know.
I hate picklebacks.
Salami
And-
regrets every
Fantasy
decision made up to
Wisconsin.
this point.
This was all just a test to make sure Tulami never became an alcoholic.
Yeah, this is how to keep kids from drinking.
Yep. Seakild smells this as she's drinking her water and is just like, thank the five, I'm the designated driver tonight.
Scared straight.
All right. So
This is what alcohol smells like. All alcohol. It all smells like this and tastes like this.
So we had Bjorn, Sten, Actalina. Did anybody else want to partake in drink or? No. Okay.
I was gonna take the shot.
Okay. Roll a
I
con save.
ain't gonna
Hey.
chicken out.
Shut.
Roll a con save.
Shut.
22, a natural 20.
No way!
All right. So Tulami, you have absolutely no issue, and you're just wondering why everyone keeps talking up this alcohol thing, because not only do you down it and you just gut it, just without even a pause in your breath. You just whoop. Everyone else. So Sten and Actalina, as soon as it hits your stomach, you immediately begin to lose what little lunch you had. Sten, it brings back horrifying images of the waves, the rocking, and the fish leaping out of the ocean to assault you. Bjorn, you barely hold on to what you've got in your gut.
Gotta keep a straight face.
Who would serve this in public?
I think
I
it's
thought it
pretty
tastes-
good.
Yeah,
Yeah?
same.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I'll drink to that.
Sten, you look
Bjorn,
here. Oh, I was too
there it
late.
goes.
that was on the table.
Got it.
Here.
He starts
No,
scooping it,
no,
like,
no, don't, no,
Oh, it's good.
no, you're
It's fine.
you're
I
still,
got it.
no, hold
And he
on.
falls off his stool.
Nope. Seakild grabs him and like helps him back up and just goes, all right. Well, hey, since you just happen to be absolutely drunk, I'm going to show you something that I just picked up this is pretty great. Not to like say that this is
Is
great
it
that you're
toki?
falling over. Toki is great. I did just, well, I actually picked you up because you fell over.
Ooh.
No, but see, I've been praying. I've been trying to connect back with my my temple roots. And oh, I'm sorry, you're falling over. Hold on, let me just. I'm talking a bit too much here. Let me just.
Each
and
of you just talk one at a time. One at a time.
She just taps Sten and is going to use her new lay on hands pool and use 5 HP to cure or neutralize a poison, which alcohol I think is considered a poison.
It's true.
So she's going to get rid of all of that in your system.
So is he sober now?
I was always sober.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, absolutely he wasn't. As she did that, there was a faint, like, a golden glow from her hand as she just tapped him, and he immediately probably looked just a little bit better despite all of the puke in front of him.
I'll have another one.
Where did all this puke come from?
Lena, I think you should take it a bit slow. Maybe go to the mead.
Yeah, Actalina, I can only do this once a day.
I'm a warrior too.
Oh, Lena, no one doubts that. But warriors need proper hydration.
It tastes like fish. I'm okay. You know, meat is good. Meat is good. Meat good. Meat good. I have meat, please. Nice bartender.
You see the serving person come over, and they take your order, passing you a drink, and then mention, "Oh, you lot look like you're not necessarily from around here, but bit of warning to you. We got some what would you call them? Elves flying out at night lately, so just keep your eyes open. Flying on their bats."
Flying on bats?
Immediately look at Tulami.
Side-eyeing Tulami, but like trying not to make it obvious.
And then it's at that moment when everybody looks at Tulami to point out the
Thanks,
dark
guys.
elf. The server like looks and recognizes Tulami and just like kind of backs away, and then
Oh,
Wait,
no,
come
this
back.
is
Somebody puked on the table. It wasn't me.
like, first off, some water for my friend. Second of all, please, this little one over here is like my little sibling. Never done anything wrong in their life.
Except kill a
Of course.
Lenorm and
Of
all these
course.
other things.
Oh, I'm
That
certain you're
wasn't-
just quite accomplished. Please don't lowball me on your tip. I'll get you the water.
I think
Was I
during this
supposed
whole
to
time,
give a tip?
What's a tip?
Yeah, was I supposed to do that?
Oh,
I didn't.
when you like
Have
this,
my sword.
when you like the service, you leave a bit extra. You know, money.
Why is that not included in the price?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
going to
well,
say, do they not pay
you
their
know.
servers?
Is this about to turn into like a British American?
Actually, you
Some
leave a tip.
establishments.
even if you don't like the service, you know, some people really rely on tips. So even if they're just having a bad day, you should leave a tip just because, you know, they don't
And it
really get
sounds like
paid
he was
that
paying
much.
with more steps.
Well, a
Just-
lot of these
Extend-
inns, they just don't pay their staffs a living wage, and then they make them work extra hours, and then
And they act
they
like
do
we're
that.
the bad guys.
They
Stan
put it
has a
all on
great
us and make us
point.
feel bad when they're not paying them a living. It's a
Right.
systematic. It's a bad issue. Okay.
It's a bad system, you're right. However, if we can tip, I think it's nice.
I mean, yeah, you do agree to, you know, when you go to an inn, you agree to tip just by contract and knowing they're not paying the employees. So, I mean, you know, if you don't tip, it's kind of bad, but they
But
should
then
also
you're
pay their
consciously-
employees.
You consciously consent to the greed of the business owner when you understand that they do not pay, and so you are supplementing, and thus you both become victims of the state.
Should I take half the bill and give it to the tip instead of paying for the bill?
Usually
what
you
I
do
mean.
20%.
No, you still pay for the bill. If you don't pay for the bill, apparently that's a crime. So
But I mean, usually there's there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, but that's another topic for
Under
another night. We
feudalism.
can feudalism. Excuse
Under
me.
feudalism, the kingdom.
Water.
I need some
Yeah,
meat
I
if we're
think
going
during
to keep
this whole-
talking about this.
The
I think
server
during
brings
this
back
whole
some water.
Oh, by the way, if in doubt, never attack a Lenorm from the front.
Oh,
This is not meat.
the server brings both mead and water and lets you decide for yourselves what is best for your situation.
Are they just pictures?
Lena just grabs the entire
Yeah.
Lena, no. Put the. Okay.
strong line.
I give the server 2 silver pieces as a tip. I have no clue if that's. I just was like, don't want him to be upset at me, so I give him some money.
You can see the server kind of with a kind of a guilty look take the tip from the 14-year-old boy.
Not only are you taking money from
I
a
hope you
minority,
feel
you're
bad.
taking it from a child.
I
He'll
hope
just
you can't
smiles
sleep
at the
night.
server.
Okay. Do you have a second? I have a question that I want to ask you that may or may not bear fruit.
During this whole time, I think Toki's been reviewing his scribbles that he made before and making notes of the things he learned from the High Father, and just kind of trying to organize his thoughts. Looking up briefly from his stuff to comment, and when Actalina talks to him, he puts down his charcoal and he looks up and he's like,
Yeah, what is it, Actalina?
In kind of a hushed voice, but not super hushed because she just chugged me. I know you're having memory issues, ongoing type. I was just wondering, you are an experienced man of the world.
Yes.
I'm very connected to the Tree of Life, and I was just really curious. Do you know anything about the House of the Whole Throne? Like where it is, and if someone was to say go looking for it in the forest? Does that ring any bells?
I don't know, Friday. Do I know anything about the
Go
location?
ahead and roll a history check.
Okay. 12.
Give me a few moments. I'll give you a little bit.
I know it might seem like kind of an out of nowhere question. I just figured, I want to explore the world, and I heard of it in a song once, and I want to find it.
I heard that they don't like to be found, though. Like, don't they try to...
Well,
Honestly, I thought they were kind of a myth, but...
they're not a myth. They exist. They
Still
have
children.
a long and
Take them back to the house. That's what I remember.
Sikil just sips her water very slowly, not
You know
making
what?
eye contact.
That's all poppycock, friend. They don't do that.
There's a lot of rumors about the Fae, and I don't think you can really believe anything what you hear because half of it isn't true. The Fae are very beautiful and astounding creatures they're not made of the same ilk as you and I. They are
not very
pure
nice.
of soul and nature.
Have you seen one, Toki?
Toki,
Yes.
to the east of the Svartalfheim Mountains, there is Dragonswood, where you've heard a lot of Holdra gather. You're not quite certain why, but you know also that people do not chop wood in Dragonswood for fear of something, a guardian that
In
might...
Dragonswood?
Dragonswood.
Dragonswood, a guardian in Dragonswood. Interesting. I wonder what it could be.
So as Tulami asked if Toki had ever seen one, he kind of shrugs and, well, if I did, I don't really remember, but I do remember now that I think about it, Actalina, that there is a location close to here, I think, where the creatures they meet up, and it could be that they're meeting up there because that's the place you're looking for, but who's to say?
Oh, it was just like a casual question. It wasn't like for any reason or anything. Thank you. And Toki.
Yes.
The words are very kind. I know that not everyone is as understanding, and she gives Stan a dirty look. But thank you.
Well, I've got a long and complicated history with nature and the Fae. They are creatures to be respected.
Actalina looks like she's gonna cry, and she just like gets up and walks to whatever room she's staying in.
I was worried because, plays the instrument the way she does, and she'll go out there and then they'll ask her to play and then they'll start dancing and then they'll take her away and they'll never let them stop playing. That's why I hear. That's what
Oh, don't go on like that. I'm sure
I heard.
you'll be fine.
I'm going to put Sten's hand in a bowl of warm water while he sleeps.
Joke's on you. I'm super dehydrated.
That's not what it's for.
Oh my god.
Can't pee what you got.
Can't be what you don't. Good.
If you
Things
know,
I wanted
you know.
to hear. Bjorn's
Actalina,
going
are we in
to
third grade?
Bjorn's going to slide over to Tulami and say, "Oh, Tulami, I noticed you threw back that drink with no problem. It's pretty impressive. But
Was
just
it?
wanna yeah,
I didn't
it's-
realize it was supposed to be hard.
And Bjorn
Oh,
just kind
God.
of looks into the middle distance for a second, thinking about
Looks
how
at
a
the camera.
child.
Do you
how a
want the
child-
pickle
oh,
that came with it? Do you want my pickle?
Yeah, I'll
Takes the
always take
pickle off the shot glass.
Always take it. Thank you. But remember, there are, if you're drinking, just remember there's a point where you should probably stop and take in some water. I'm not saying, it seems like you're all, rather
Okay,
new at this.
Bjorn.
Oh, okay.
I've only had one.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, sometimes when people handle their drink especially well, it's harder for them to know their limits. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't think you're gonna. Oh boy. I messed this one up bad. I think I'm gonna go to bed.
Just make sure
Yeah.
you give Bjorn the reins to your bat before you go home.
What? I didn't hear that. The range to
Don't.
my bat?
The reins to your bat. When you're drinking and flying.
He's talking about
Oh.
how. Yeah. All right. Well, good night. And Bjorn's going to shuffle off, very embarrassed that talk did not go the way he thought it would go.
I just don't.
good
I
night.
only had one, so I could avoid that conversation. And then he felt the need to have it anyways.
Oh, Tulami, he's just worried and wants to make sure that you stay hydrated. I mean, you saw what happened to Sten. This puke is still being cleaned off the counter. Just want
Yeah.
you to take care of yourself. Wow, that was slurred. I didn't even have anything to drink.
Yeah, off some water and then go to bed.
I'm going to go check on Lena. She seemed like she was struggling with that drink, so I'm going to go do that and probably head to bed myself. Do any of you need anything before I head up? Toki?
Oh, I'm quite all right. Thank you, Sigild.
You let me know if you need anything, okay?
I will. I've just got some things I need to organize here.
Oh, look at you being all organized. That's so nice. Give him a big pat on the back. probably like half knock him over, and then give Tuami a little pat on the head, give Sten a little nod, head up and knock on Actalina's door, if she is even conscious.
She kind of gives it a couple seconds and then opens the door very slowly. Hi, cute.
Hi, Lena. She stands there kind of awkwardly for a moment.
What is going on?
Do you mind if I come in?
Of course not.
Thanks.
My home is your home.
It's a lovely home.
I
She'll
mean,
step in.
It's pretty nice for an inn. I like it.
The whole
It's
place
warm.
kind of smells like fish.
I know.
How-
It's
how-
a good thing though, because it'll make them feel very, very sick.
Right. Are you doing okay?
I'm fine. Why would you even ask?
Oh, just because that drink you had seemed to rattle you a bit.
Oh, it was icky.
Yeah,
It
it
was
seemed
really gross.
like it. She stands there and kind of like shifts her weight for a moment. And listen, Lena, when you went down the other day, I might have seen something of yours. I think I know why you're upset with Sten. I mean,
Oh,
I made sure to hide your tail so that nobody else saw it when I carried you.
and her eyes widen with just absolute fear.
I just wanted to let you know things have been a little hellish, to say the least, so I haven't had a chance to talk to you about it, but I wanted to let you know that, I mean, I was a little shocked, but doesn't change anything.
Are you going to tell the others?
No.
Okay. Please don't. Don't tell Sten. He'll kill me in my sleep.
Oh, I wouldn't let him. And I don't think he would. I think if he knew that, if he knew what kind of a person a fey creature, a fey person is, then I don't think he would feel that way. I think it's just like our dear friend Toki, born out of ignorance,
Well, just because someone acknowledges their ignorance doesn't automatically save my life.
It's true. But don't worry, I won't tell anyone, and if it does get out at all, I won't let any harm come to you. Okay?
Thank you. I am going to go to bed now, and if you wouldn't mind shutting the door all the way behind you so that I can lock it,
Yes,
that
of
would be
course.
awesome.
Of course. I'll let you be. Good night. Let me know if you need anything. And she will
Good
head
night.
out and close the door quietly behind her.
I'm gonna start packing up all of my stuff.
Oh no. No.
Just sit there and stare at my little bundle and leave it in its place before ultimately deciding that sleep is better.
Is anybody else doing anything tonight before we hit the long rest?
I think Toki was just going to finish, figuring out his rune situation, and then head to bed. Everybody else had gone to bed, right? Or was there still people that were drinking?
Sten's still at the desk at the table.
Oh,
And he's
okay.
gonna sidle up and sit down heavily next to Toki, sort of watch him as he's sort of sifting through his papers. So
You get brought some shellfish of shrimp, mussels, and oysters, and some sourdough bread and gull's eggs.
Oysters, you say?
Mm-hmm.
what's
When- Oh.
oh, sorry, no, Talami's here. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know. I was just gonna say that when Toki gets to bed, he's going to find the apology list that I've created under his door, slid under his door. It's written in common with Svaltvar next to it. So I wrote it in Svaltvar, realized he couldn't read it, and then rewrote it underneath. But yeah, so it just says there's 4 things. There's 1 for killing the Svaltvar agent too early. 2 for killing the Lindworm too late. And then there's 3 for being stupid and mean. Those are the 3 reasons I'm apologizing. So sorry, Stan.
It's fine. Just Sten was just going to be like, so did anybody say anything interesting in the whole of slaying?
I was actually going to ask you about that Friday. Would Toki have been able to hear any of the things they were talking about while he was dead? Or was it mostly he was just existing in Valhalla?
So, you've heard talk about the last battle and preparing for that, and the end of times in which you had joined. You were selected by the Valkyr to join the army in order to protect all of existence against the end. And you know now that sometimes if people are brought back from the halls, they don't necessarily get selected again afterwards. So there's always that chance that you just are not brought back to the halls of Valhalla. It just depends on how you die.
Okay. And then would I also have heard anything that the party was talking about during the resurrection? Specifically like any of the kind words that they were saying about Toki or anything like that?
No, you were too busy drinking in Valhalla.
Okay. So Toki would kind of sit there and he'd look very focused on what he was doing, but as Sten sat next to him and asked his questions, he'd put down his charcoal and break off a piece of sourdough and mull on it for a little bit and look at him and say,
Well, it was actually quite interesting. They were preparing us all for the final battle, and I'd been chosen to fight. And Valhalla's, you'd think that when you die, the work is over, but really it's never over. You find new purpose. And while there is plenty of drinking and merriment and all of that, it's, well, we all know that there's something coming. It was a beautiful place, to be sure.
Now you're back here.
Now I'm back here. I'm glad that you all brought me back, but I was starting to get used to the idea of defending the known world and the cosmos and all of that. But sometimes you die and you get brought back and you just have a new outlook on the way you live your life and the things you do.
he kind of looks off distantly as he says that and picks up his charcoal again and writes down a couple more things.
You all did okay without me, I'm assuming?
We're here, but it was a long 2 days without anybody to, keep us occupied.
2 days. Gods.
Would I'm assuming time feels more elongated in the afterlife?
Yeah, so you had experienced a lot in what seemed like perhaps half a lifetime within Valhalla. as you met with and discussed the stories and great tales of battle and victory and courage, and of failure and death with others whom you had met. And now I'm going to reveal to you, Toki, another hidden mechanic in which you are going to roll on a chart, and I'm going to select a spirit from Valhall that is going to do something for you once a battle.
Cool. Okay. What is the roll? 100?
It'll be a D20.
D20. Okay.
You met a lot of people, not that many people.
7.
It would make sense they would only talk to 20 people in half a lifetime.
That's true.
Not right now, Toki. You don't need to roll right now. We'll do that each.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, each battle.
Got it. Okay.
We're just eating, and the spirit just appears like.
Toki was a jerk. Just go. Floats away.
But yeah, I think Toki would kind of look shocked that it was 2 days in the mortal realm.
Oh, Sten, I wish it was 2 days in Valhalla. It was a lifetime, nearly. I met many people, lived a different existence. It was incredible. But again, I'm glad to be back. I know I said, why did you bring me back when I first came back? But really, I am glad to see you all, and I appreciate you all doing that for me.
Well, I'm sure you know better than most that we were just the spark. The flames wouldn't have taken if the gods didn't think you had something else to do.
That's a good way to look at it, my friend.
It sounds tiring, though. I'm not sure if I want to another lifetime doing the same thing under the same heels, but we'll see.
Well, it's rewarding. It gives you a good sense of purpose rather than rotting in the ground and not doing anything.
I've heard there's only darkness and horror in the halls of the Queen of the Dead, but who knows?
Well, one day we will find out, I'm sure, and I hope for you, young man, that it's quite a ways away.
That's the tough one, isn't it? To live a long time or to go quickly and it's foolish. The will of the gods be twisted in some ways, I think. Drives people to do foolish things and raid and take what belongs to others and throw their lives away, seeking something somewhere else. And we've got everything we need here, like bread, food, things that it's not perfect, but we can make it perfect. It's my thoughts.
Well, I've always believed that everything has a cost, and sometimes peace like this, what you're describing, it comes at a very grave cost. And yes, men are foolish, but we learn from our mistakes and we grow. And I know that an unkindness was done to you, but hopefully, like I am learning from my own death, you will learn to grow and adapt. And I think you are. You're becoming a great hero, you know.
Hero, interesting. Well, let's just hope I don't have to smell as bad as you did, he says, sort of slapping on the shoulder as he stands up. Guess tomorrow we're going to meet another Jarl. So, he says, reaching over, and he sees there's still a tear in the shoulder, perhaps where the Lenorm's fangs bit through. And he casts Mend and sort of seals it with between the thumb and the finger. There you go, missed one. And then,
Toki looks over his shoulder and then looks up at Sten, and he gives him a firm nod. He's like,
Thank you, Sten.
Thank you. I think you duel. A lot more important than you realize, he says as he sort of heads off, leaving a puke-stained table behind him.
And didn't tip.
I told him a tip. I said never fight Lenore from the front.
Toki,
Yeah, I'm sure that tavern server is really going to use that big tip that you gave him. Yeah.
I think after a little bit, Toki would finish up his writing and his eating and leave an overcompensated tip, and then would return to his room and find the list from Tulami tucked under his door, and laugh to himself as he folds it up and sticks it inside of his belongings and heads to bed.
All right. Was there anyone else wanting to do anything else? I think we're all wrapped up then for the night. Okay. You all pass peacefully into slumber. There's no Draugr which disturb you this time. As you're safely within the walls of Norrøngard for now. And you all wake in the morning. You can hit your long rest buttons if you need. Toki, you still have 1 point of exhaustion. And you can remove any poison that you had received from the fish pickle drink.
Okay.
Now that it's morning, what are we planning on doing?
Good morning, everyone. Did y'all sleep well? We've got some business to attend to if you're feeling up to it already. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go bright and early. Do you want to do some stretches before we head out?
I have to put the finishing touches on my story.
Why is my hand all wet?
Not the only thing that should be wet. Xenophone.
Bjorn walks out of his room, not in his typical scale mail, but in a nice yellow tunic that was made for him by Actalina the next time they were to meet a Jarl.
Aw.
And he kind of rubs his eyes and goes, "Oh, what's with all the commotion out here?"
Oh, it's just morning. Oh, you look so nice.
Oh, thank you. Actalina, I wouldn't look this nice if it weren't for her.
It really makes those baby blues just pop.
Oh, stop it.
You look like a Wheatfield wearing a bear's head.
I thought the cape was still a nice touch to show that I'm a... Yes, Lena.
Are a big stinky poop face, and I don't like the words that you say.
Me? So the sort of, he does, I mean, obviously he's got a bent lips from his scar, but he's sort of seen, Sten seems just lost it and sort of befuddled by the aggression directed him. Is sort of the little chuckle that he had at his little joke is just drains. He's like,
It's all right. Then she's just a bit miffed from last night's conversation. So, I thought it was a funny joke. But honestly, I kept a bare head because I thought it would make me look, more tough and, in front of the Jarl. So, I mean, I thought it also went with the tunic. Do I look good? I think I look good.
You look really good.
What?
Oh,
Thanks, Lena.
you are growing into such a handsome and capable warrior.
Ooh, I hope I don't grow any more. I don't think I'd ever get the end of stairs if I finally reach 8 feet.
I think your parents and my parents would be really proud of you.
Thank you, Lena.
You mean it?
And Bjorn just
I'm
kind of
just gonna-
takes a minute to collect himself before breaking. I think they'd be proud too. And I think they'd be equally as proud of you. How's your song going?
Good. I wrote it about the Lenore.
Oh, do you
What?
think I could read it sometime, or you wait until it's done so you can perform it?
Well, I think I'm going to wait till it's done, and I will know the right moment to perform it. And
Oh.
GM, I'm going to prepare the tail of the dragon.
Okay.
for my College of Spirits
Ooh.
feature.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right, I can't wait to
Fantastic.
hear it.
Except it's an A norm.
Once
Yeah.
they started having that conversation that started getting all teary-eyed, I think Seakild probably took Sten by the shoulder and started like directing him away. And they probably sat down for breakfast or something, and she just leaned over and is like, Sten, you know, I think one of the reasons Actalina might be a little upset is just, you know how Toki
Yeah, that was pretty upsetting.
was with a lot of kinds of minorities. I think that she just doesn't like how certain minorities are treated, you know? And so when you were talking about the Fae like that, I think she just felt bad and was trying to stick up for them and didn't like how you were you know, talking about them. So I think maybe if you tried to apologize about that, she might not be so mad at you.
Okay. But Sten doesn't seem to understand. It's like, I mean, I do all, I leave food out for the Vader. It's not like I don't respect the Fae. I just recognize that they're dangerous and scary.
I mean, maybe, but not all of them. And I think maybe you just, And she kind of like sits back for a minute, trying to go over her words carefully.
Hashtag not all Fae.
Maybe it's how open you are about saying that they're scary that, you know, she just thinks is a little rude. She seems to be the type to think that everyone is capable of being nice. I mean, look at Toki. Toki's been growing. Look at Tulami. Tulami is this Fotvar, and Tulami's great. So you know what I mean?
You know, I just say those things because sometimes I worry that she's going to wander off somewhere and then, I don't know, like taken away to, under a hill or something and never be seen again, or, get tricked and lose the voice. There's all sorts of stories where people are just, too trusting.
I don't think you need to worry about her. She's a capable one, you know? She might seem a little airheaded, but she's very capable.
Yeah, that's true.
Heather, no. At 13, I have the highest intelligence in this group. Sorry.
Oh, that's
Looks like-
right. We have a low intelligence party. That's right.
We sure
Yeah.
sure do.
Yeah.
I
Looks like
think
my
12 is
plus
pretty
0.
good.
Kenzai.
Yeah.
Yeah. I stopped treating them like a child, I guess, and they know how to take care of themselves.
It's very nice that you're worried, but I think maybe just the way you're going about it is upsetting her more than if, you were acting like you weren't worried.
Well, all right. Yeah. I guess if somebody was treating me like I didn't know Veta from a Draugr and was, fresh off a boat, he sort of looks queasy as he says that. I'd probably be upset as well. So yeah, I'll say I'll apologize. Yeah, I shouldn't be treating them like a kid.
And if you could, just don't mention that I said anything. Just say that this is of your own realization, that you just realized that you were being a bit of a jerk.
Oh,
thanks, buddy. And she's going to give him a big hearty punch on the arm.
I'll meet you guys out front. I gotta go. I guess I should wash my hair, he says as he heads towards the trough where they feed the horses the water.
Oh, no.
I think
Water makes great pomade.
When Sten
where's
goes out to
Tulami
the
in all
horses,
this?
that's what I was gonna say. When Sten goes out to see the horses, Tulami's out there shirtless with his shirt, trying to sew his 5 lindworm scales onto his clothing because he
Yes.
did not buy a new outfit to see the Jarl. At least my inventory says I did not. And he needs to figure out a way to look a little more presentable. So he's sitting out by the horses for company. And I don't know how lindworm scales work. I'm assuming it's going to be very hard to get them to attach in some way. But
Your daggers didn't stick through those. How's that tiny little bit of needle gonna? Sten says as he sort of just dunks his head in the pool.
oh, I didn't see you there.
And
I don't know. I
Tulami,
only have a 13 intelligence, so.
Tulami, you're at the age where you're just starting to smell as well, like you're going through puberty.
Oh
So
my
like all
God.
this is like new to you. So you're like you're not quite sure how to hygiene. So
When you're level
Are you
3,
taking
you'll
a
start to
bath?
notice changes.
Are you taking a bath, Sten?
Just washing my hair. Says
You wash your hair?
not
I
often.
wouldn't have known.
I think
Sten looks up at the overcast sky and he looks back at Tulami and says, better put your shirt back on, you're gonna get sunburn.
Okay. Can I just show him the scales? Would that be enough? Do I have to?
Hey, look
No,
look here. He sort of Sten reaches out, he sort of snaps off a bit of thonging from what he's got lashed a bit of his chainmail together, and he sort of knots it around the scale to form a crude pendant, and then uses mend to close the loop and puts it over your head. There you go. Wear that on top of your suit.
Oh, thank you. And he puts his shirt back on, and he's like, "Do I smell
Maybe,
like horses?"
I think the horses smell like you. Just under the arms.
I don't understand what you're saying, but okay.
The water
He's
under the
gonna-
arms.
Oh, the water. Okay. And so he's gonna do whatever Sten tells him to do because he's a trusting soul, and goes back inside.
and an adult.
So as Tulami's coming inside, Toki is taking a little bit of charcoal and just like shoving it all over his face and reapplying his his makeup, and then he's just gonna assume it looks good. And as Tulami walks back in, he's gonna kind of tap his staff on the ground a little bit.
Oh, come here, Tulami.
Okay. What do you want?
I got your note.
Oh. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I appreciate the sentiment. You're a good kid. I've been kind of hard on you, I know, but this is a new toki, okay? And I don't really know how else to say this. You teenage sorts are difficult to talk to, but just keep up the good work, kid.
And he's gonna give him a pat on the shoulder, and kind of awkwardly just like feel like he shouldn't touch him because now he's starting to smell the body odor coming off of him, and he's just like, ugh.
So
Yeah,
you're not mad?
Clarification: Toki also smells like he's been dead for 3 days. So
well, that's a good musk. It's a pheromone.
The
Okay.
death musk.
You
We
got
gotta
sprinkled with the dirt herbs.
How else am I supposed to track the ghost ladies? Okay.
After spending breakfast with this group of people, Lena's gonna go back up to her room and spray some like primrose and mint.
Seeing Actalina go
Yeah.
upstairs, Sten's going to take him on. Hey, back a second, he says, as he's like sopping water onto the ground from dragging out his hair and sort of trying to tame. Hey, Actalina! He sort of knocks her door.
Good morning.
Hi. Look, man, I didn't mean to keep treating you like a child. He says, you can take care of yourself, and you don't need anybody to warn anybody for you, and you can, you know what to take care of, and if something was to try and lure you into another world and where you never get to come back, you would know not to do that. So, I'm really, really sorry I kept just bothering you that stuff. It's the stuff my mom told me, before. But yeah, just things to keep you safe. And so I just repeat the stuff because I want to keep other people safe. And you don't need me to keep anybody safe. You slew, you helped slay Lenorm, and I'm going to roll insight.
Of the work. I did most of the work on that Lenorm. Let's not forget that Tulami may be very strong and powerful, but I did most of the work.
Yeah, I'm going to roll insight to maybe get an idea of.
Go ahead. Yeah.
22. I might know that something's up here, and my apology has not landed well.
Well, also, it suddenly strikes you that indeed, Actalina's actions in the battle literally saved the party several times.
I knew that.
Okay, just making sure that you know that as the Sten knows that.
Yeah, you did save Zol, and you've stood it several times. When you tried to save the priestess, and I don't understand. I'm saying sorry.
Sten, why are you apologizing?
Because I was treating you like. Oh, sorry.
Roll insight, Actalina.
Am I gonna be good at this?
PvP skill roll.
It's a natural one.
You think that, like many people in your life, Actalina, Sten might have just been overcome by your beauty, and that the apology is coming because of their really desperate need for favorable attention from you, as the many people in your life, as you've been a very desired performer and just person that people pursue.
Stan, I think you misunderstand. I have many suitors. I appreciate it, but you don't relieve yourself where you feed yourself. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And besides, I had something slightly different to ask you anyway. So we can ignore. I'm asking you to maybe suppress those feelings that I know might be very overwhelming when you see my visage. But what would you do if we were to meet the Fae?
Well, it depends. I would make sure that I had an offering and that I wasn't somewhere where I shouldn't be. And I would make sure to check before I agreed to anything, because if I agree to things, then they can make you do things. So I would be very careful. And
she slams the door.
I'm 30 years old, by the way.
I had to mute myself because when Dave made the face while Kenzie was sitting there explaining what's going on.
I have a deep and genuine misunderstanding of social cues, apparently.
God.
He's gonna emerge from the area where the rooms are, and he's sort of still damp, but he just looks completely bewildered.
So how'd it go?
How old is Actalina?
23.
Are you
I'm gonna
asking
go
for any?
No, I need to go
Are you gonna go wash your hair?
Yeah.
It smells like primrose from all the hair flipping.
Just he wanders away. Just
As you
completely
make your
alone.
way across the tavern floor, on your way you see a broad woman with long blonde hair and is wearing sort of a fur mantle as well as a chain shirt and a shield strapped or slung across her back and a large axe at her belt.
How tall is she?
Um,
I'm very intently listening.
Me too.
She is
Like the
6
both of
foot-
us were just like,
You're not players. You're not allowed to make broad jokes in my chat, which distracts me. All right. She is 6'2", and she
oh, nice, same height. Wow, we have so much in common. Oh my god.
looks between all of you with a very stern face and says, "Hello. I'm looking for the Norrøngardians."
Oh, that would be us.
You found them.
Hello there.
Lena
Yes, that's
finally
us. How can we
dances
help?
downstairs.
She
Oh, you-
stares for a moment at Bjorn, like kind of like someone would stare at at an animal that they're not quite sure what it is. They're like,
And
Oh,
Bjorn,
he-
accustomed to this look, says, I'm very friendly.
He's not a bear. He's just that's just a hat.
Trulawney also doesn't understand social cues.
as I lose my place, I am here for Jarl Ranunder Ranvigsen, and you all are to come to the Longhouse, right? As we received word
Yes.
about that.
Yes, we have a delivery. Oh dear. This will go better than the last one. Yes, let's go.
And I heard you had been carrying one of your fallen with you. Is that
Yes,
all
this one
taken?
here. Sigil immediately grabs Toki and just starts like doing this, jostling him a little bit. He's better
Oh.
now.
Oh, yes, the gods saw. They saw fortune on me and brought me back. Is that going to be a problem?
No. I think that's wonderful. And we have food for you to eat in the Longhouse. Perhaps
Oh,
not as wonderful as you've had, but amongst us who haven't had the honor of death, it'll do.
Hmm.
And I'm Sighild, by the way. What's your name?
Oh, I told you, and then I totally scrolled up and forgot
Oh,
it. Hold
I
on one moment.
completely blanked on it and I did not hear
They're
it
called
at all.
Dame. Dame.
Eivor. My name is Eivor.
Lovely to meet you.
It is spelled strange, so I will send it to the group.
Thank you.
So,
Silent age.
as we do you have everyone with you, or
We're missing someone.
I think so.
Yes,
Is
Actalina's
Sten
down here
still here?
now, so.
Oh, good.
Hello.
Oh, you're in a good mood. It looks like the conversation went well. Yes, we're all here.
I think yes. I think it's good now.
Oh,
the shield maiden turns and leads you all through the streets, and traveling to the Jarl's Longhouse isn't a short trip. And as you walk along, moving through the crowded streets of the lower city to the more sparsely scattered houses and farms along the mountain slope, you catch little glimpses of life, of how Nilfgaardians live. And you see crops growing and goats and sheep grazing on the narrow ledge along the mountainside. And you can spot a couple of children who are tied with a rope at the waist to like the porch railing, so that their children don't fall off the cliff.
I thought that
Right.
was going.
wow.
Now remember, everyone,
I thought
don't
Sten was
accept
about to-
strange letters from people we don't know as we're walking.
Right. That is super insightful of you, Bjorn.
And we
No
just decide
side
to follow
quests.
this person who says they're with the Jarl.
Oh, well,
Do you
if
have
we're
a symbol or something to show us that you are with the Jarl? Because we have trust issues now.
Oh, well, you know, it don't really matter. If we're the only ones in danger, we can take care of ourselves. I just don't want to put anyone else in danger, you know what I mean?
Hirvar
So
is
you're
going
like-
to Hirvar
Like
is going to stop and look over her shoulder. No, I don't have symbol of anything saying that I work for the Jarl, but you can see on the cliff we are walking to the longship, so I don't.
Don't worry about it. Thank you.
I'm not going to grab you and toss you off the cliff, if that is what you are saying. I can't do it to
Oh.
that fellow, but maybe the rest of you.
Oh, I don't think you could to me, but I'd like to see it try.
We'll talk about that later when I'm not working, maybe.
Okay.
And as you are trekking 700 feet up the mountainside, the path you follow splits under the shadow of the sharp tongue of rock that extends from the cliff face. And you see the great longhouse sitting atop the outthrust stone. Steps are carved into the cliff on either side of the rocky protrusion. And then as you step inside, she says, "Welcome to the dwelling of Renunda the Red, Jarl of Nilmgard." And you can see the tables are stretched out all the way up to where the wooden steps are built for the throne of the Jarl to be sitting upon, who sits there with a very long, bushy beard, which has been tied with various pieces of bone and leather, and long blonde hair combed back, who is wearing a kind of a bright blue tunic and lifts a hand over to Eivor and beckons. Eivor leads you over to stand in front of the Jarl, and there are many warriors standing on either side as you pass through the crowd that was feasting next to the fire pit, and you all are standing about 30 or 40 feet from the Jarl.
Bjorn. I can't see from here. Is he wearing a wedding ring?
You know, from here, I can't really tell. No, I won't ask.
Just gonna take a couple casual steps forward and try and peek at the hand.
Make a perception check.
Because of that beard, though. 16.
There are an assortment of jewelry on both hands. Each finger has a few rings.
I should ask around.
Toki's gonna tap his staff on the ground a little bit.
Actalina,
Yes,
contain yourself.
perfection.
Seakild will produce the, I believe it was a rune that we were delivering.
Yeah, the Jarrow rune, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Hello. My name is Seakild, and these are my companions. We are here to deliver this.
We have a very deep and very respectful curtsy.
Aye, Eivor. And then the Jarl points to the shieldman beside you, who moves to gather the rune if you will hand it over.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And Eivor delivers it to the Jarl, and he looks at it. This is from the Jarl of, what did you say? I assume it's from the Jarl.
Yes.
That's
right. Valkyrie.
Oh, sorry.
That is quite the journey you made here for the people of Nilmgard, and I must say, it will benefit them greatly, and I appreciate what you have done for my people. So I will invite you to feast with us today, to dine with us. And perhaps, if you have not had your fill of adventure, I have something for you. And that is where we're gonna pause for this episode of Thrones and Bones.
There's always a hook.
It's so good to be
nice
back.
to be back.
I
I
know,
know.
I
I
felt
missed
so
Oh, nice to
playing.
be back.
Return of the Mac.
I don't know.
So we're gonna do. Thank you to everyone who joined us. And if you would like, if you missed some part and you'd like to watch the VOD, I'm not sure what the Kobold Press VOD schedule is. Dot, if you want to pipe up, I'm not sure. Sorry to put you on the spot. Three days. So 3 days from now, I think it's Sunday. So like Wednesday or Thursday, right? And you can check that out on the link below. Big thanks to Lou Anders for working with me and the rest of the cast and Kobold Press in order to bring this show to a wider audience. We're so happy to be here to represent this incredible IP. You can check out the campaign book and the adventure books and the map bundles, and there's even a soundtrack that's coming out. Didn't get to play any of it today because we have not entered combat yet, but we will at some point do that. And yeah, the intro song is part of that soundtrack as well. So please go check out Drive Through RPG for the Thrones and Bones adventure pack in the campaign setting. It's really wonderfully done. And now we can do sign-offs, starting with Alex, and then you're going to popcorn it.
Hey, that's me. I'm Alex. You can find me on Twitter at ActorFeet. I also will be taking part in season 2 of Empire of the Ghouls when that comes out. So you can catch me on Tuesday nights doing that. You can also catch me on a couple of other projects when they finally get their feet off. I have a couple of guest appearances on some podcasts and on Indigo Chameleon's channel. And I just wanted to say thank you before I pass it over to my good buddy Dave.
I'm Dave. You can't catch me anywhere. But I do like to run games on Friday's Discord community, so please check that out. And I usually put events in there, and I'll run it for anybody. I'll run any game for any, well, kind of within reason. And remember to tip your serving staff, and I'll pop it over to Tulami.
Hi, I'm Tulami/Adina. I'm on Twitter as @pod_fan_addict. The whole thing is pod fanatic. So, and I like podcasts. I'm not in them. And I will be in another stream on Thursdays, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight with Sarah, which I don't know if it means anything.
Indigo Chameleon's channel. Thank
Yes.
Indigo Chameleon's channel.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I got you, fam.
Thank you. And yeah, and I'll pop it over to Mirage.
That's me. Hey, I'm Altamirage. You can find me literally anywhere at Altamirage. I also am an artist, so you can find my Twitter art at Altamirage Art. Shocking. Yeah, my commissions are open. I do D&D, character design, and group art, and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I am also on another thing that will hopefully be returning at some point this spring. We will talk more about that when that happens, but stay tuned. And I will pop this over to, oh man.
Have we already lost? I have
Toki or
forgotten who's
Actalina?
gone.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't remember who's gone.
So-
It's
Will
Between
go.
Will
Well, if you
and
want to
Kenzie.
go.
Will go.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. What up? I'm Will. You can find me
Boo.
at neckbone93 on Twitter. That's spelled N3CK bone93. You can also find me at Twitch at N3CK bone. I don't do a lot, but I love to play D&D, and I do play in a stream on Gambit's channel. Gambit, I'll link it somewhere if you want to know. But I play on Monday nights, and I also play occasionally on Wednesday nights with him on his stream. Very cool campaign, multi-DM, Stone Age, age progression, magic, mystery, intrigue, all that stuff. Check us out. And I love you all. Gonna
Wow.
get over to my girl Kenzie.
Wow.
What up? Hi, I am Mackenzie Hahn. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kenzie the Hahn, no spaces. I also will be here on Sundays during the duration of our Thrones and Bones run. I'll be here on Tuesdays as DM for Empire of the Ghouls, which is a fantastic Midgard campaign set in Kobold Press's setting. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly encourage you to catch up on the VODs so you can be ready for the relaunch of that at the end of this month. I will also be joining the lovely Adina here Thursdays on Indigo Chameleon's channel for the Wild Beyond the Witchlight as Clara Bow. Please catch me there. Catch all of us there. Thank you so much for coming out. Love you.
Okay, I think that's me. So
It's you.
I'm Friday. I do stuff, and you can find me on Twitter as Friday TV. So thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.